So the next thing I'm going to do after I've converted these all to components, that's a really, really key step. You can't skip that one. And after I've changed the material and I've changed the appearance of all the blocks, the next thing I'm going to do is assemble these blocks as a unit. To do that, then, I'm going to go up here to this assembly. Okay? And I'm going to hit the down arrow. I'm going to select joint. Over here is going to pop up a little dialog box, and it's going to ask, so there's two options: position, like where do we want to assemble these, and then what kind of motion do we want in each joint. We'll go through the different types of motion that you will need at a later date. There's more activities on that. We're not really concerned about that right now. We're just going to create rigid joints between each of our components. So basically, the default is to go to origin mode, which is great for our purposes. Okay? So this is where your solution key to your puzzle cube is going to come in handy. But what I'm going to create here is a puzzle cube from my pieces that will be fully assembled. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start placing pieces. One thing you may want to do is come in and ground one of your pieces. So this is going to be my grounding piece because this is going to be my front corner piece. Okay. So once I have that in place, the next step is going to be to start assembling. The other thing that you're going to find helpful is to use your toggle on and off your different components as you go to assemble them, because it just cleans up your space. Okay. So I've toggled off my green and my yellow because they don't go directly with this piece. This blue one does and this black one does. So I'll start here by creating a joint between the red and the black. One of the things I did do, and I showed it, but I will show it again, is make sure that you ground this kind of cornerstone piece. That way you're drawing, it keeps it from moving. So on here, I'm going to take this blue block. I'm going to assemble it. I'm going to take the blue and I'm going to take the red and I'm going to put them together. So component one that I want to attach is this block, and this is where your view cube is going to become very important when you're creating assemblies, to just make sure that items are lined up properly. So join, using your view cube. Again, I'm going to navigate around here to just make sure that, like I said, I'm setting points where I'd like to set them. Okay. And you'll see that this now fits together properly. Okay. Okay. So once you get this little tab here, that's telling me that these two items are joined together. So my next order of business then is I'm going to take my black piece and I'm going to slide it in here. All right. So I'm going to basically take it and make sure that this face and this face are connected together. In order to do that, I'm going to go assemble joint and I want to click on the black one first. So I select, I'm going to navigate around and I want to take that piece and I want to stick it right there. Okay. So those pieces fit together properly and there's no seams between the different pieces. Okay. So now I have the black piece, the red piece, and the blue piece assembled. Now I'll come back in and I will turn on the yellow block. Okay, now I want my yellow block to sit right on top of this black block and kind of wrap over the top. And so in order to do that, again, I'm going to navigate around. All right, and I want to put this face on top of this black block. So I click my joint button. Which face do I want? I'm going to select the middle of that block. And then I'm going to select, use the middle here. Sometimes if you zoom in, it's more cooperative, but you'll see it's not letting me select the middle of this. Now, there are things I could do to make sure it works, but instead of fighting this, I'm going to actually cancel it. Then I'm going to come back to my joint, and to get this to work the way I want, what I'm going to do is put this corner on this corner. So I'm going to navigate around my yellow block. Okay. I'm going to zoom in to get it just where I want it. And sometimes with these joints, this can be real finicky. So just be mindful of that. And I want to put that corner on that corner. There we go. And you'll see now the fit is proper. Okay. So there we go. So there's my blocks. I have one more block to add. I have that green block, which should fit right in this space here. Okay. So I'm going to turn my green block back on. I'm going to navigate home because that's how I'm oriented to think about my block. And so on here now, I'm going to join this up. So I'm going to take this green point and I want to put it right in this corner here. You'll see that gives me a nice flat spot. And I want to do the same thing with this. To do that, again, I'm going to navigate underneath the green block. I'm going to select that point. I'm going to navigate onto here. Okay, and if I can't get where I want, I just use my view cube again. It's not what I want. To navigate to where I want to set it. Okay, now let me see if I can do this. I'm actually going to maybe target that a little differently because that did not go the way I wanted. So again, I'm going to pick that spot, go back home. And you'll see, right, because I selected that surface and tried to put it on this vertical surface now, that wants it to go that way. So one of the things I can do is kind of mess with where I'm sliding it. And then just X this selection out until it's actually best to work out this corner. I think. Again, the corners seem to be the way to go here. So I'm going to select this corner. There we go. Home now. And then my second one over here. And you'll see it can be, even for me, it can be a little difficult to get it squared away exactly how I want it. Okay. Now, looks like we have an issue with the solution, right? Because there's a little hole right here in the back. So in order to fix that, take, and I'm going to extrude this, join it, so it keeps it as a component. I can just toggle on my shapes again, and you'll see the block should, there we go. It works now. Okay. Oh, you know, I got one more green block. I missed. All right. So at this point, I'm going to go back to my home screen, and this is what my block looks like currently. So that right there is how to join your block together. And hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight into how to do it and how to match up the edges and the corners.